Hello, everyone.
Hello, I am the Leo. You could call me Jennifer though, and this is my brother. He's JoJo Speaks, aka Joe Nathan, aka Jonathan, aka
Just
who
Joe.
else? Just Joe. Thank you. That's
Yes.
another good one. We are here to do a wonderful spoiler review on Heartbreak High episode 3. We are certainly getting through these videos. This one only has 8 episodes, right, Jonathan?
It only has 8 episodes. That is correct. The non-Korean series typically have 10 or less episodes in each season. So, yes,
I did not know that because
absolutely.
I'm just so used to 16 episodes.
Right. That seems to be something very common in those Korean series. So
Yeah,
yeah,
the
this this one
K-dramas.
is this one is 8 episodes, but I think I enjoy the shorter
Mhm.
episode lengths because they get to the point that much quicker, and we get to the story that much quicker, and there isn't so much iffy stuff in the middle. There's no filler in the middle. So
Yes, but one thing I can say about the K-dramas that have all the extra stuff, they have so many other storylines that's going on at the same time.
and that are almost just as important as the main
Yeah,
thing. So it's a lot more to get through.
yeah.
But I can't say that I like one more than the other, to be honest. I like them both.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes me feel nice. Well, we about to high school high. Let's get to it.
Heartbreak High. Yes,
Child,
absolutely.
I'm calling it everything but what it is. Please excuse
Yeah,
me,
I,
Jonathan. I
I I
don't do it on
understand why you
purpose.
want to say High School High, because that's one of our favorite movies.
Favorite movies. If you don't know it, get into it,
It's
please.
it's amazing. I really want to watch it tonight just because you said it,
Hilarious.
because it's just that good. It is. It really
Child.
is. Lord, John
Good
Lovitz is
times.
a comedian king, and
How was my
everyone
m how
everyone in that movie did what they were supposed to do.
how was mama letting us watch that movie? Did she know it was
I
rated
don't
R?
I don't know, and I don't know how Mekhi Phifer comes off to us as a high school student when he looks a smooth 26.
At least.
A smooth 26. You
He
can cut
was
off his mustache
grown.
all you want to, cut off his facial hair all y'all want to. That man just still look like he done skip like that, like he done been held back a couple years. Okay,
Child. And that what's his name? What's his name? Johnny Lovitz? John Lovitz?
John Lovitz, yes,
He was freaking hilarious.
he was, he was, yes.
Freaking hilarious.
Anyways, on to Heartbreak High, the reason why we are here doing this
Oh,
video.
yes.
So we start off where we left off from last night. So the previous night at Dusty's party, we have Cash and his fellow hoodlums.
Hoodlums.
They're in
Posse.
Dusty's dad's car. They stole his BMW SUV. Why they had to steal it, I guess it's so that they didn't. You have to use one of their own cars. But they drive into this store, and so they start grabbing things, and then one of them says, "Oh, we got 5-0 on the way," and so they all run back into the car. The car won't start, so they have to then run out of the car. They run down the street, and
See,
then the
see, this is
main
how you know they stupid. Right there.
how
You use the car to drive in there. You don't drive all the way in because now you're messing up all the undercarriage of the vehicle. Now
right?
we can't get away and get out. Stupid,
Yeah, it is.
stupid youngins. And then also, once they get in there and they're stealing all this stuff, putting things in the bag or whatever, they're all yelling at each other, hyping each other up. And it's like, why aren't we listening for the sirens? Why
Because they're
do,
young and they're
did you
dumb.
not are we not aware that we are doing illicit things? Are we not aware that we're doing illegal things? Like, come
Okay.
on. I just thought it was stupid. I'm like, seriously? Seriously,
Yeah.
just shut up, get your stuff and leave.
Right. So as they're running down the street, the main guy, I don't know exactly what his name is, and I really don't care.
Me neither.
But the main guy, he hands the bag of merchandise, stolen merchandise, over to Cash and tells him to hide it until they can get free, until further notice. So Cash takes the bag and they run down, and we get our title screen. So then we have A Marie. She's outside and she's burning a couple things. It seems like she's probably burning Harper's clothes. I'm sure
Yeah,
Harper has left some clothes over to her home from time to time. She also burned a teddy bear. And
oh,
so it seems like A. Marie is getting rid of anything that reminds her of Harper. And she is literally burying her friendship with Harper. Is that the kind of sense that you were getting from this scene as well?
absolutely. She just wanted to be done with it, and Sometimes when you get hurt to that point, you just want to rid somebody from your life. So,
Right, exactly. So then we have Harper. She returns home. Got this woman, the mother of the family that she was staying with. She's dropping her back off at her dad's house. I don't know exactly what her connection was to that family. I don't know exactly why she was with that family, at least not at this point. But either way, she's being dropped off back off at her dad's house. Her dad seems to be happy to see her. She goes back into her room. Everything was left as she everything was left the same way that she left it when she left for that music carnival
mhm.
concert festival, whatever the
Or
case
maybe
might have
came
been.
back from it. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So it seems like she hasn't been home since that festival. She goes into the bathroom and she actually sees a lock of her hair, which she cut off after the festival. So
Mhm.
there's that. Dusty
Oh, and
and
she also hides the clothes that she was wearing
oh,
at
okay,
the
okay.
festival. She hides them under the extra bed, and she slides it under her bed.
Gotcha. Yeah. So then we're back at school. Hopper and Dusty, they see each other, and Dusty's like, "You left me on red. That's classic." You know what I'm saying? Why would you do that? And so Harper's like, "Why would you tell anyone that we hooked up? Why would you tell anyone?" And so um, she said that she wanted them to keep that a secret. And Dusty asked if they could go out. You know, he wants to date Harper. And then she declines. Why do you? Well, I think you explained to us in the other episode why she declined. Why she doesn't want to give in to Dusty. But could you tell us again why it is that you feel like Harper is rejecting Dusty's advances?
Yeah, it's just simply because she understands the kind of how much it means to Amory. Though she may not want to be her friend, she doesn't want to break her heart, I guess. So,
Gotcha. Yeah, so we're back in our sluts class. We're not the class is not full. It's just Darren, Quinny, and Amory. I'm sorry, Darren and Amory. They're laying on the floor, looking up at the new map that is underneath
yeah.
the desk. And the new map doesn't just have Harper and Dusty on it; it has some others on it
Yeah,
as
they
well.
it's added.
Who do you think has created this new map? It clearly doesn't seem to be our three main characters are
No, because they
outsiders.
found it.
Right. So
Um,
who do you think, if you could guess, who do you think it might be?
I don't know. I'll just say Spider because I don't like him.
Okay, okay, that that makes sense. So Quinny happily jumps underneath in between Darren and Amory and adds her and Sasha to the map.
Mhm.
In a heart, she puts their names inside of a heart. And she
Yeah.
says that they're together. And Darren says, you know, that's classic lesbians. You know, moving so quickly, already moving in together after meeting after one day, child. And so Amory has stated that she does not want to think about sex. She does not want to think about sex. She doesn't want to think about boys, anything adjacent to intercourse. She does not want to think about. So her solution to this is to slap herself in the face anytime that DICK comes into her mind. She's going to slap herself
Kids.
in the face. What do you think of her resolution to not thinking about sex or boys?
Kids. Okay, like come on. Like it's gonna happen. And you're gonna feel away. It just is what it is, especially now that you are a teenager and your hormones just raging. You're like, come on. It's going to happen and it's not gonna stop. And there's not much you can do to stop it. You can't okay. But
Right.
the advice that she did receive, get a hobby, was the best advice she could receive. But she didn't do a good job of finding a hobby.
Yeah, yeah. She said that she would try some extracurricular activities. So her first up is to join the Haha Club. It's a group of people wearing smiley face T-shirts, standing in a circle and laughing.
The
Just
literal most stupidest thing ever in life. They're just laughing just to be laughing. They didn't pull up nothing, no comedy, no nothing. Cause I would get like just making sure to really vibe out on some laughs and make sure that we're happy. Let's get us some comedies. Let's just really get some laughs out. No, they're just
okay.
sitting further. They're standing in a circle laughing. Who gets true joy from that?
Yeah, I don't know, but Marie seems to be getting into it. She joins the circle and she proceeds to laugh along with the other members of the Haha Club. So then in our next scene, we have the basketball team. They're practicing. And so the basketball coach calls Malachi on over and says, "Oh, you're doing really good, Malachi. I want you to try out to do the district tryouts. I guess there's going to be a district team for their area." And so he calls Spencer over, Spencer, aka Spider, over, and he wants Spider and Malachi to practice every moment that they have, so that they can prepare for this tryout. And so also we then have Malachi asking Marie to hang out. She does decline after this basketball practice, because she's not thinking about men. She's not thinking about sex. So
She
that's
slapped
why
herself
she
real
declined.
good after that
And I don't know
exchange.
if you noticed, but Spider walks out with Malachi and sees Malachi talking to Amory. Did you
Hmm.
did you notice the look on Spider's face when he saw Malachi talking to Amory?
I didn't see his face. Was he mad?
He seemed to be a little jealous, to be
Oh,
honest. It
really?
seems like he
But
was upset at the fact that Malachi was talking
oh,
to
so he must
Amory.
like her?
I don't know.
Child, let me tell you something. Oh, this is so stupid. Like, it's stupid. Go ahead. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
It's okay. It's totally fine. And so then Amory asks Sasha if she could join the queer environmentalist social justice club. Um, and Sasha's like, okay, so now you care about the environment all of a sudden. And she's like, well, Amory's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I love the whales. It's so sad
Well.
how they keep getting that chlamydia. And
Yeah.
I
No,
don't
did she
think.
say koalas were getting
Yes,
chlamydia?
koalas. It was koalas. She said it's so sad how those koalas get all that chlamydia. I don't think that animals can contract STDs, but
They actually can, believe it or not.
makes sense. I guess if we can, so can they. Anyways, Marie also at this moment she decides she sees some kids playing chess over in the corner. So she says, "Oh, I'll play chess." You know, the guys who are playing chess, they're not attractive whatsoever. Chess seems to be boring, and so it'll keep my mind off of the boys. Do
How?
you do
How
you
would
think
you?
this will work any better than the other two options?
No. No. Because if you're trying to stay away from thinking about sex, you need to do something that really not only stimulates your mind, that's fun
Hmm.
for you, that that would actually take your mind off of sex, but I also believe something that really exhausts you. Like she should have been a part of some like a ping pong playing club, okay? So she could really get some, bust a
So
sweat a
back
little
and
bit.
forth out there,
You
bust a sweat. Yes,
yeah, and then you might still be thinking about having sex, but you might not feel like because you so
right, right.
and
So
hot and sweaty.
right, exactly. So we're back in our sluts class, and Jojo, our wonderful teacher, is letting us know, or trying to teach us, how we find out what our partner is comfortable with doing sexually. Darren then immediately raises his hand,
Oh, child.
and Jojo's like, "Okay, Darren, say rimming one more time, and I'm going to ask you to leave." I thought that was hilarious.
How about that?
I thought that was hilarious because, of course, Darren is very outspoken, and Darren doesn't care what other people think of what they do or how they present or how
Mm-mm.
they do get down with the get down. So I just love that.
Child.
And so Jojo also suggests that they ask their partner, or their partner ask them where they want them to be touched. And then Ed raises his hand. He says, "Here, right here." So teenager like.
Kids.
And so then we break off into groups. And so we have one group where we have Cash, Quinny, Darren, and Harper. And the situation is similar to Harper and Amory's situation. And Darren's like, "Oh, it's kind of interesting. It's similar to, you sleeping with your best friend's crush. Anything to say about that, Harper?"
Harper.
Harper. Okay. Do
Yo,
you
that was
love
I
Darren
love that
sticking up
moment.
for his bestie right now?
That was a moment over there, honey.
It
That was
was
a
very,
moment.
very, very sassy. And of course, Harper doesn't want to participate. And then Cash actually sticks up for Harper in this moment. He says she doesn't have to do it if she doesn't want to. What do you think of Cash kind of sticking up for Harper in this moment? And do you have an idea of why he might be doing that?
I think he saw what happened.
Mm,
I don't think that he was a part of what happened, but I think he was privy to what happened.
mm. Interesting, very interesting. So we go back into the classroom where another group is working, and they're talking about
Or he
um,
likes her. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh, okay. And they'll talk about situations in which one person is interested and another isn't. And
Mhm.
so some of the boys in the group say, "Oh, why not send her a DIC pic?" You know what I'm saying? And then they go into grave detail into their D pics and how they send them, and then they compare their Ds to other things. And this has A Marie in a trance. And every time that they mention something concerning a penis, it's in slow motion and
Mhm.
it's close up on their mouth, and we see the effect that this is having on Amory. And Amory gets to slap at herself, and then Missy's like, "What the f is wrong with you?" What did you think of that scene?
Hey, it happens, but it also made me feel very sad for the future. Um, what makes you think that sending a dick pic is gonna make somebody like you more?
I would understand why someone would make that assumption that it would
I don't
encourage
understand why. How's
someone.
that gonna encourage me to do that? I never liked you in the first place.
Right. Yeah. If I don't like you, what makes you think that me seeing your penis is going to make me want you any
Now this gonna
more?
make me want to send it to other people. How about that?
Right, exactly. Look at what old boy sent me. So then we have Amory walking out of the classroom, and Harper tries to talk to her all of a sudden. And so Amory's like, "Girl, go on somewhere." And so Amory then stops behind the wall. And then Sasha and Missy catch up to Harper, and Harper's like, "I just want to talk to her." And Sasha says, "She's so narcissistic." What do you think of Harper trying to talk to A. Marie right now? Why is it that you think she's trying to talk to her? And what is your reaction to Sasha calling A. Marie narcissistic?
Harper, no, excuse me. Anne Marie said the wrong thing. We need to be a little bit more clear as to why I don't want to talk to you. That's
Okay.
number one. Number two, with her coming up to her asking, "Can I talk to her?" Oh, like I wanted to talk to you last week?
Right. Exactly.
No, we're not going to talk. You didn't want to tell me what's going on. I don't need to tell you what's going on. If she would have been, apparently this show would have been shorter if I would have said this, because it's
Right.
about, for me, maybe it's the Leo in me, but I need to get straight to the point.
Right.
Okay. And now you think you're gonna be able to, because you're looking sad, you think you're gonna be able to talk to me because you know what you did? I
Right.
don't
You
even
know
know
what
what
you
I did
did to me. I don't
I,
even know what I did to you,
to
but you know what you did to
exactly.
me. Right.
And no, no, I'm not opening no doors for nothing, because you won't even come to me and let me know what I've done to disrespect you. And let me go even further in on this. For her not to know at all what happened, the bulk of me, and I say maybe about 87% of me, believes that Marie more than likely did not have a thing to do with what happened. She just so happened to not be around at the moment when that happened. And for her to blame her friend for anything that might have happened, just because she wasn't there when she felt like she needed to be there, that's a problem.
It is.
And especially if you can't voice that, that's an even more grave problem. This whole thing is stupid. With the narcissism, they don't know what a narcissist is, so they need to shut up. And
Right.
what's the other question that you said?
I think that's all. Well, I did ask, why do you think Harper wants to talk to A. Marie now?
She wants to talk to Harper excuse me, she wants to talk to Anne Marie just to get that off her chest. She knows she's wrong.
Yeah.
And I feel like she should never accept anything that she has to say to her until you tell me what happened for you to not to do that to me. I don't care why you cut your hair off. I need to know why you feel like I've done such a grave uh, um, disrespect to you,
Hmm.
to have you to act the way that you did to me for those last weeks. So no, back up.
Gotcha.
I'm upset.
Point taken. Point taken. Duly noted. Okay. So then we have Cash. Cash actually got a text message while they were doing the group assignment. So Cash runs home, It seems like he wants to check on the bag. And his Nan is like, Nan, meaning his grandmother, that's who he's
Mm-hmm.
living with. So Nan says, what are you doing home, Cash? Why are you home? And Cash is like, I got a free. She said, you're only supposed to use that when you're sick. So I guess that's just like a free day that they don't have to go
Mm-hmm.
to school. I guess that's what they call it in Australia. And so then he says, "Oh, he walks up to Nan and he says, I just got something to do, but I'll be back later to cook for you." So we're seeing a softer side of Cash. Did you enjoy seeing this softer side? He clearly loves his Nan, and it
Of
seems like he's kind
course.
of taking care of her. So what did you think of this scene?
I thought it was decent, to see who's at home. It makes sense. It does give him an opportunity to attempt to do whatever he wants to do, but yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. So then we have Harper. She's explaining to Sasha and Missy the reason why she doesn't want to date Dusty. She's because they're like, he's so fine, girl. Like, why don't you want to be with him? That's exactly what I would be saying to her. I don't know why you passing up on this fine behind model looking man. And she's like, well, I mean, that's the point. He's fine and he knows it. And there's nothing more unattractive than a man who knows what he looks
Now,
like.
I
Do you
may
agree
not
with
like
that sentiment?
Harper. I may not like Harper, but when she's right, I'll give it to her. She right on that one. I don't know what it is about men that know that they look good. They
Yeah,
use their power for horribleness. And he personally, yes, he looks good, but the dude is dense.
very much so. Very much so. So then we have Dusty approaching Marie, and he's asking Marie for tips on how to get closer to Harper. He's like, I know you guys are best friends, before you had that whole breakup thing, but what is Harper like? What is she into? Like, help a brother out. You know what I'm saying? Um, do you think that Dusty is just unaware of what he's doing, or he doesn't care about what he's doing? What
He
do you think it
doesn't
is?
care. He knows that the girl likes him, but he's okay with trying and even getting advice from the girl to get with her best friend, or excuse me, ex-best friend.
Mhm.
The boy is dense. And I think it's not even just being dense, but it's also not being caring to other people's concerns.
Cognizant.
He doesn't care that
Mhm.
she has a crush. I guess it's like in his mind, well, we both know it's just a crush, whatever. But I want her. So how do I do that?
Right. Like, yeah, so he understands that Amory likes him and
Oh
he's
yeah,
aware of that,
yeah.
but I got my eye on her best friend. So I'm gonna just
So
use her to get closer to her best friend.
once again, the boy's dense.
Yeah, it is. He is. He's very much so.
I don't I don't like him. I think I almost don't like him as much as I don't like Spider.
He's an F boy, absolutely.
Yeah, like the point that really like solidified me not liking him was him calling out Harper's name. I'm like,
Mm, how dare you? How
okay,
dare you? But
okay, we see you for your works.
right. I was just about to say the N word, niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
That's
get your
what
neck on
more
you.
can we expect? Okay, what more can we expect from these F boys? But anyway, so in our next scene, we have A Marie. She's in the gym and she's playing
Mhm.
chess. She's playing chess as she wanted to do. And Malachi and Spider are practicing. They're
Okay,
doing
wrong
what their
location.
basketball coach asked them to do. And Amarie's distracted, and so is Malachi. Malachi is looking at Amarie from across the room as well. Um, and then we get this scene of Amarie
Child.
fixated on Malachi and Spider, and Malachi and Spider seem to be getting a little close.
When I was doing this cooking, I was cooking bacon as I was watching
Oh,
this, and I have.
okay,
You remember while we were in Florida, and I had my white stand.
yes,
So that's how I be looking at my videos and stuff, and I was like, "What is going on here?" That's what I said to myself.
yes. So we see Malachi and Spider seeming to be into each other, giving
Mhm,
each other
and kissing.
gazing looks, okay, into each other's eyes, okay. Spider's behind Malachi, rubbing up on his inner thigh, you know what I'm saying, trying to touch, honey. And then they kiss. This was a wonderful surprise for me. I did not expect to see these two
Oh,
heterosexual looking, acting, presenting men
yeah.
kissing one another. I thought this was great. What did you think that this symbolized for A. Marie? Because I've always heard that some women like to see two men together. Do you think that's what it was?
Um, how should I say this? Um, it's not too bad for some women. It's okay. Just to see it. I thought it was just a hyper sexualized fantasy or a dream because of where she is
Right.
in her space of trying not to think about it.
Hmm.
So
That makes perfect sense.
it's one thing to see somebody, that one person. It's another thing to see more touching and all that stuff happening, and the only other person that was there in that space was another man. So
Yeah, there was a movie that I've watched, and this guy likes this other guy,
mhm.
and he has a dream of the guy that he likes having sex with this woman, and so that kind of makes sense because you're seeing them in a way that
In
you
a
would want
sexual way.
in a sexual way
And he was
with
the only other person that was there. So
exactly. So there you go. But I thought that was a very interesting thing for them to do. Very
child.
interesting.
Hey,
And we'll
they
get
took it there all right.
right. They definitely did. So then we have Darren. Darren comes back home, and Cash is sitting on Darren's steps to his father's house. And Darren's like, could you conceptualize this? Like what is this? What is going on? Why are you here, sir? Um, and so then Cash asks Darren to stash his bag of stolen merchandise. And Darren's like, well, don't you have some homies that you want, that are ready to go, do all that stuff? And Cash is like, well, I mean, you're basically the coolest person in school. So, and Darren says, oh, well, it's lucky for you that words of affirmation are my love language. So I'll do it. What did you think of that scene of Cash asking Darren to hold the bag for him?
There's danger afoot.
In what way?
Are you serious? We're hiding stolen merchandise that we just stole yesterday. Of course, it's danger afoot. And
That
then
yeah.
Daddy was right around the corner, like.
Yes, Daddy was inside and he witnessed this entire conversation. So
And
we know
I
that's
bet
gonna
you he started paying attention once he noticed old boy on his steps. Like, what the? Who?
right. Yeah. What is this delinquent doing on my
Ah,
on my steps? Right.
this ragamuffin.
And so in the next scene, we have Dusty. Dusty finally goes over, pulls up the courage to go over to Harper's house. Um, very bold in my opinion. And she's like, right now is not a good time. And Dusty's like, yeah, yeah, whatever. I just wanted to get this off of my chest right now. Okay, because I really like you. I want to go out with you. I want to take you out. I don't know why you're rejecting me, but I want to take you out. I do have issues of my own. Sometimes I overcompensate. I steal condoms, but I'm all about safe sex. You know what I'm saying? He's rattling these things off, just listing everything off that he thinks that Harper needs to hear
As
about himself
Amory said
because
that he should.
A. Marie said that I didn't explain
Oh yeah,
earlier that A. Marie told Dusty that she likes guys that are a lot, guys that like to talk a lot about
give
themselves. And
all the
so,
information.
yes. And so A. Marie was trying to make Dusty fail in his attempt to be with Harper. And in this case, we see Harper after Dusty leaves her, she closes the door and she has a smile on her face. It seems like A. Marie's plan has backfired. Would you agree with that?
You know, I don't believe it backfired. Well, yeah, technically it did,
It
because
did.
because she already like him. He really don't have to do much but show his face. Let's be real.
Right.
So yeah.
And so then we have Darren, he's at work, and Quinny and A. Marie are there sitting at a booth. And Darren's looking at Malachi's Instagram, and Malachi is obviously thirst trapping, okay, lifting weights and looking gazingly into the camera. And Darren's like, look at Malachi, girl, that bed is so hot, honey. And A. Marie's like, no, don't show it to me, I want to see it. And he's trying to force her to look at it. And then Quinny says, aren't you supposed to be working? And he says,
Ooh.
wow, thanks, Ma. Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
Can you get us
so
some more onion rings?
Right, exactly. So then we have Darren going back home after work, and Darren's dad has seen the bag full of merchandise, and Darren's dad is like, "What is this? Why do you have it?" And Darren's like, "Well, obviously it's not mine. I wouldn't dare be caught dead in one of those things." And Darren's dad is like, "No, that's not the point. Take this back.
Okay.
take this back where you got it from, or we're heading down to the police station now. And so Darren
As
just,
any good parent would do.
exactly. So you were approving of this particular scene.
Absolutely, through and through. Because not only am I protecting my child, but I'm protecting my house. I don't need to be upholding all this. No. No, 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 no,
Right.
no.
So Darren rushes over to Cash's home, to his nan's house, and tells and asks Cash if he can come in. And Cash is like, "Oh well, ask Cash if they can come in." And
Hmm.
Cash is like, "Well, I mean, my nan's here." So, and Darren's like, "Oh well, I'm great with nans. You know, they always tell me, like to pinch my cheeks and tell me about the one person that they met a black person,
The
one
first time
time
they
that
met,
they met a,
yeah,
but one
black
time that they
person.
met a black person." So now we see what the struggle might be for minorities in Australia, because there might not be too many of them out there.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, Darren's like, I'm sorry, there some things went on with my dad back at home, so won't be able to stash your merchandise. And he said, "Oh, well, actually, I think I know the perfect place to stash it." So they go onto this rooftop together. I believe it's on top of the school, if I'm not
I think it's
mistaken.
the school. Yeah.
And so Cash is asking Darren, so are your parents still together? And Darren's like, no, they pretty much, not that they hate each other, but they stopped living together a long time
Yeah.
ago. And I used to live with my mom, Darren says, but I was too much for mom, and she sent me off to daddy prison, is what Darren explains that as. And Darren then says, I guess I'm not everybody's cup of bubble tea. And of course, I
Mhm.
looked up bubble tea after seeing this. So apparently, bubble tea is this tea that has little bubbles in them. I've
Yeah.
seen it before. I don't know if we have it. I think that we might have it in America, but it's not as prominent in America. But I've seen this bubble tea before. I don't know if I'd want to try it. Jennifer?
Jonathan is very popular in America.
Oh,
As bubble
okay.
tea is basically, I think it's like tapioca balls at the
Mm.
bottom of it, and yeah, people just drink the tea and drink the balls with it, and nom 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 nom, drink the balls.
So do the
So
balls do something to the tea? Like, does it add flavor to it or something like that?
no, it's just boba.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, in the next scene, we have the police. They have arrived at Nan's house, Cash's Nan's house, and they want to speak to Cash, and she says he's not here. You can't come in without a warrant if he's not here. So go away. And they're like, well, did Douglas is his actual name. Cash is his nickname. They asked
Oh,
if
okay.
Douglas has mentioned something that happened, has something that happened at a store some time ago. And she's like, no, no, not at all. Nothing like that has happened whatsoever. You can F off. You can F off. And she says, what else are you gonna do? Strip search me? Go ahead. Might even enjoy me so. Did you enjoy Nan's banter with the police?
All I can say is that this is not her first time.
Not her
She's
first not her
it's not
first
her
time
first
doing what?
rodeo. Being
Okay.
being approached by the police.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the
She
first thing I
knows how
said to
to deal with
myself.
them.
Oh, she ain't new to this, honey.
Okay, she's true to this. Okay. And so after the police leave the front step, Nan goes immediately to the shower where Douglas, aka Cash, is taking a shower. And she's
Mhm.
like, what have you gotten yourself into?
Like,
She's like,
"Man!"
what are you going off about now, Nan? She basically tells him that he needs to find some new friends, ones who won't drag him down the SHITTER.
Mhm.
She says that she won't allow him to go to jail like his mother did. So we now
Mhm.
know that his mother is in jail. So what are you thinking of all this new information that we're learning about Cash? We met his nan. Now we know who he lives with. We know that his mom is in jail. So we've gotten a little bit of a backstory. What are you thinking about Cash at this moment?
And she also did say, like, "I'm the only reason why you're out right now." Basically,
Right.
he had a place to go. Something tells me if he didn't have a place to go, he'd still be in jail, and maybe that's why he's been left back.
Right. Exactly.
Why he's back again, and they just don't know. But I'm hoping for the best because he seems like he's a genuine dude. But I really need to. I kind of need to know like what's behind this. What's the reason? It can't. It's like you live with your mama, you have a job doing this and the third. It's not like you flossing real majorly. Are you trying to pay
No.
off restitution? Like what is going on? Like what do you need the money for?
Why does he do what he's doing?
Yeah. That's what
Right.
I want to know.
Yeah. So in the next scene, we have Spider and Malachi. They're doing their working out. They're working out together. And Spider's like, I hope you're not making thirst traps for A. Marie. Very interesting that he said that specifically. I
That's
hope
what
you're
I was
not
thinking
doing
too. But now
thirst
that you told
traps.
me about how Spider was looking at that other scene, I was like, now I understand. Now I
Right.
understand.
So then Malachi then throws up. I guess he was going too hard
Yeah,
with the workout, and then Spider
trying to
walks
keep up
up to
with
him.
Spider.
Right. Yeah, trying to keep up with Spider. And Spider walks up to him and tells him to find another training, excuse me, to find another training partner.
Mm.
Oh, excuse me. So, anyways, next we're in science class. It looks like we're in chemistry because we've got chemicals burning or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And so Amory is looking through her Instagram, and then she finds Malachi's Instagram. And he's doing his workouts on his Instagram, doing some push-ups. And then she then proceeds to slap herself doing the slap 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 thing. Harper's sitting in the back of the room, and she passes a note to one of her classmates, and that classmate passes that note to Amory. Amory reads the note, and the note says, I need to talk, or we need to talk, something along those lines. Amory looks back at Harper, takes the note and sticks it in her mouth and chews on it. She then turns
And
around and
almost chokes on it.
kind of chokes on it a little bit. What did you think of Harper still trying to talk to Amory and Amory declining her invitation to talk?
She just wants to get it off her chest. That's all. She should feel bad that she didn't tell the girl what's going on with her, but of course she's made it up in her mind that she should know, which is kind of stupid. Like how can she be so slow not to know what happened? Something so detrimental that make her not want to talk to you no more.
Yep,
That whole
absolutely.
thing just bothers me. It still does. Go ahead.
So then we have Amory and Malachi. They're outside playing basketball, playing a little bit of pickup here. And so then Malachi, he tells her that he's going out for these district trials, trying to try out for the district team or whatever. And then Malachi asks her, "What's going on with you and Spencer slash Spider? Because he be talking about you. He's been talking about you pretty bad. So." What'd
Yeah.
you do to that boy, girl? And she's like, he feels the same way everybody else feels. He's mad about the math and the fact that I have you in the sluts class and all this good stuff. And then she's like, how'd you end up in the sluts class? You're a new student. And he said, well, there's another black kid in the school named Malcolm. And, I think that they mixed me up with him because he was on the map and Malachi wasn't. So he thinks that they mixed them up and put him in the class. And she says, that's kind of racist, isn't it? And yes, it is very much so racist. Did you like this interaction between Malachi and Amory while they were playing their basketball? I thought it
This
was
was
pretty cute.
this was good. It was really great to find out why he was in the class because it did not make any kind of sense. But I'm happy to know now.
Right, exactly. So then we're at Darren's job, and Cash is sitting outside the window, the pickup window. And Cash's friends, his hoodlum, hood rat friends, his delinquent friends, his esche friends, they come up and they're talking to him. They're like, "Oh, we haven't seen you since the whole robbery thing." And so the main guy, the main leader of the gang, he asks Cash if he wants to hang out a little bit later. And Cash says that he has to take his grandmother, to an appointment, so he won't be able to make it. And he's like, "Oh, okay, well, next time." And so Darren's like, "Oh, well, is your nan okay? What's going on with your nan?" And he was like, "Oh no, there isn't an appointment. No, there's nothing wrong with her." He's like, "Oh, so we're lying to the boys now, are we?" Darren says. And so Cash is like, "Oh, well, actually, I just wanted to ask you, did you want to, hang?" And Darren says, "Oh, sure. I mean, I'm not doing anything." And he's like, "Oh," so Cash is like, "Oh, well, why don't you just hit me up after you get off work?" He's like, Darren says, "Oh, okay, it's a date." What are your feelings on this?
I don't have any.
What?
I don't. It's like I can't take it seriously until I like see more. I don't know.
This was something that I had to hold myself back from filling you in on, and all
Really?
you have to say is you have no feelings about it. Like you're not in
Mm,
anticipation to see where this goes.
uh-uh.
Lord.
I'm sorry. I was
If I
like,
was
it
inebriated,
look
I'd
like they're
say
gonna be
you're. If I
friends.
was inebriated, I'd say you're killing my high right now. That's what I
Oh,
would say.
my bad.
Anyway, so Amory comes home, and Harper is in her room doing Amory's sister's hair,
Yeah,
and
little sister hair.
Amory's like, "What are you doing in here?" And Amory's sister's like, "Doing hair," and she says, "Get out." And so Harper has forced herself on to Amory at this point, making it so that Amory can't get away from her. Manipulation at its finest, honey. And so Harper says what she needs to say. She apologizes for sleeping with Dusty. And so Amory's like, "Oh, okay, so that's why you came over here to make yourself feel better because you apologized to me. That's what this whole thing was about. So why don't you tell me why you mad at me, huh? Why don't you? Because Amory's treating this like Harper wants to be friends again. And Harper says, I didn't come here for us to be friends. I just came to
Which
apologize.
is why I never would have let up off Harper. Period. Get the F. I don't want to hear what you got to say. Get out
Yeah. Yeah.
until you tell me what I need to hear. You can leave. Goodbye. That's exactly how I would have did that. That
Right.
once again that routed me up, as you
Yeah.
can see, I
Amory
guess.
basically begs Harper to tell
Yeah,
her what's wrong. Why is
and
it that
it looked like she was in the process of about to like share just a little something, but then she says, "I'm always here for you," and of course, no, you're not. You were gone.
yeah, yeah. So of course the saga continues. Harper runs out of the room, and Amory still has no closure whatsoever. So then we see Darren. Darren's
But
getting
Harper
off.
still has her closure though. That pisses me off.
She
She got
does.
hers though,
She did.
and and
She forced that closure too.
And you said the word manipulation, like, okay, I see that for sure. I agree. Because once again, you want to hold yourself to the standard of being able to talk or whatever, but I can't get anything from you. Oh, I'm gonna calm down now.
It's okay. So then Darren gets off of work. Darren's getting into their dad's car. Did you notice what Darren was wearing?
No.
Darren had on a leather skirt.
Oh.
A leather skirt. It was
Now, speaking of things that Darren has worn, when they were looking up at that table, I really like his top he had. It was that green with
it
that
was a green
was
top.
very
Yes.
cute.
It
Okay, go ahead.
was showing a little bit of chest. Yes, it was
Yeah.
really nice. And so Darren gets into the car with their dad. And Cash walks in front of their car. And Darren's dad is like, "Who is that? Who's that guy who left that bag over here?" He's like, and Darren just says, "Oh, that's just a boy from school." And Darren's dad warns him. He says, "Don't get in trouble with that boy because if y'all get caught together, they're not going to take the white boy. They going to arrest the black one." What did you think of Darren's dad giving Darren some sage advice?
Mhm. It's nothing new. They have mentioned these things before, and they he keeps that in the forefront of his mind. I do think that it's awesome that he looks at it that way. I think it's
Mhm.
awesome that he sees it for what it is, and
Right.
is wanting to protect his son because of that. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So directly after the scene of Darren's dad telling Darren not to be around Cash, we then have Darren and Cash. Darren and Cash, they seem to be in some abandoned alley. Darren is sitting on top of the couch while Cash is giving Darren a tattoo. Um,
Mhm.
Seems very safe and unsanitary. But anyways,
Mhm.
so Cash is telling Darren about his nan. His nan used to be a ballroom dancer. That's the reason why her hips are so messed up now. She's got bad arthritis or whatever. But she used to be a ballroom dancer. I could definitely see that in Nan. Nan seems like
Mhm.
the type to get down with the dance floor.
Mhm.
Um, and so while Darren is getting this tattoo, Darren is in pain because, of course, this
He
tattoo
said that
is
too.
hurting them. And Cash is like, well, if it might hurt 15% less if you stop moving around so much. And Darren's like, only 15% less. And then Cash is like, okay, well, maybe 20% less, but only because I like you. And Darren seems to be, affected a little bit by that comment. And Darren's like, okay, well, so what's your deal, Cash? And Cash is like, what do you mean? And Darren says, well, I saw you on the map, but I didn't see who with. Okay, how do you get down, Mister? Okay, and so Cash is like, oh well, I've been with some people, and Darren says, people.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right. So you're a slut. Okay, I see. I see. What is your reaction to? I have no expectations now, but what was your
Ah!
reaction to the scene, girl?
It sounds like there could be a possibility that they may be able to gain some type of relationship. The reason why I didn't have much of a reaction then is because I don't know if you know, but I don't automatically assign things to people that there's a possibility that it may be. I just go with the flow. That's why I was like, ooh, this might be happening, you know?
Yeah, my antenna is always up for the gay shit.
Yeah, I'm not.
My antenna is always up for it. So, anyways, Emery then goes over to Malachi's house, and at the same time, Harper goes over to Dusty's house.
Yeah.
They're both needing comfort from the men in their lives.
Both
Um,
unhappy.
yeah, and so Amory is in is in Malachi's room. Malachi had mentioned to Amory before that his parents are out of town. Excuse me, so he's got the house all to himself. And so Malachi is just kind of ranting on about different irrelevant things, and Amory's like, Malachi, 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 do you want to help me take off my clothes? Were you expecting this when you came to Malachi's house?
Absolutely. That's what emotional people do.
Oh wow.
Absolutely. I did not expect anything less than hot sexual relations.
Yes. So Amory and Malachi, they get into it. This is Amory's first time. She's clearly a virgin.
Mhm.
Malachi's being very gentle. He's being very cognizant of what's going on. He's very attentive to Amory and her needs in this moment. She doesn't like the ear stuff. She mentioned that to him while he was kind of kissing on her ears. So he was like, okay. He said, I wanted to do it the way that you're doing it, that you want to do it. She says, I like what you're doing with your fingers. And then they go on and they continue with their coitus. Um,
Yes.
and so then we get to the next day, and we see the basketball players, and it seems like it might be the district tryouts. I'm assuming that it is the district tryouts that they're practicing,
Oh,
or they might just be
they're just
practicing in
practicing.
general. I don't know. They didn't make that
They
clear.
showed it, and I thought there was. I was like, wait, hold on. Is this like an extra practice or something like that? Why are they still at the house?
Right. And the basketball coach is asking Spider, have you heard from Malachi? Why isn't he here? And Spider's like, no, I haven't seen him.
I
And
think it
so
might be just a practice.
I think it was just a practice as well. And so then we get back to Malachi's room where Amory is still in his bed the morning after their coitus. And he gets a phone call. I'm thinking it's probably from Spider or his coach. I didn't exactly see what
Mhm.
was on the phone itself. But he doesn't answer the phone. And Amory's like, oh, do you need to be somewhere? And Malachi's like, no. And Amory says, okay, that's good. I'm glad that you're here with me. And that's the end of the episode. So, what are your thoughts on episode 3 of Heartbreak High? We're getting into some plot points here.
I need more information. That's all I can keep on thinking. I need more. I need more.
Yes, and you will receive more information as time goes on. I'll tell you how I felt about this situation, or this episode when I first watched it. I did not see Darren and Cash coming. That came out of left field for me, completely left field for me,
Mhm.
because Cash wasn't even on my radar as far as him possibly being attracted to Darren was concerned.
Yeah.
Um, I love the relationship between Darren and their father. I love the fact that Darren's father is very protective of Darren,
Yes.
and only
As he
wants the
should be.
best for Darren, in every situation. Um, I'm a little bit weary of Harper's father because Harper didn't seem to be too happy to come back home with her
I
father.
was I was rather leery of Harper's father and like just the fact that she wasn't at their house. Like I just need to know what I think he might be involved in what happened. And because just I don't know if you remember, well, of course you remember, you've seen it before. But there was one point while they were at the that music festival or whatever, where she
Mhm.
says, "We've got to stick together. We've got to stay together."
Right.
Basically, it almost felt like she was looking for peace, solace, and protection from her friend.
From Amory. Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so yeah, this was a great episode. Next week episode will be another episode. I won't get into what's happening
Episode
on the next
4.
episode.
That's
Episode
what it will
4.
be.
But you guys can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is JoJo_speaks3020. My Facebook is Jonathan Lee. My email is williamjonathanlee@gmail.com. I do have my own YouTube channel. It is JoJo Speaks. Find me on YouTube. I post videos every Thursday night at 9:30 with hot topics and social commentary with my co-host Jennifer, my brother-in-law Tyrone, and our friend Mike. So join us as we talk about the latest happenings and goings on in the world. Thursday nights at 9:30. Subscribe, like, share, comment, all that good stuff on YouTube. JoJo Speaks. Find me, y'all.
Yes, I am. Oh, child, I'm halfway asleep. I am the light of the Leo. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and of course YouTube. All you have to do is type in the @ the light of the Leo with no spaces, and you'll be able to find me just fine. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. Being that there's nothing else, I reckon we'll see y'all next week. Thank you guys for joining us for these these show reviews that we have. We're really enjoying giving them out to you, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. So please give us a thumbs up and go ahead and put your comments on in these chats. Y'all be blessed now here.